That's 5 in a row for Northwestern as they get the season series tying the split with Iowa with a huge win on Sunday night. Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Northwestern, your daily podcast on the Northwestern Wildcats, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome in. This is Locked On Northwestern, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Carter Bird, and thank you for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen every day. We really appreciate it. We're available wherever you get podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever. You can find us, and we're also on YouTube. Just search Locked On Northwestern. You can find us there. Wherever you're listening, make sure you're subscribed and you turn on notifications because, as this basketball team continues to be as red hot as they are, you don't want to miss an episode as we talk about each one of their games as we move forward. But yeah, and today's episode is also brought to you by our friends at LinkedIn. With LinkedIn, you can hire qualified candidates more efficiently by matching open roles with people who have the skills and values and experiences to help you achieve your 2023 goals. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Terms and conditions apply. All right, let's jump into this because we know that, Northwestern was rolling coming into this game. Last night against Iowa, had won 4 in a row, consecutive wins over number 1 Purdue and number 14 Indiana, both at home, but both huge wins that seemed to upset the state of Indiana. A lot of complaining about refs, some columns being written about just how mean the Northwestern student section is, which is absolutely hilarious. 19-7 overall. 10-15 in the Big Ten, solo second place, 7-4 in quad one coming into this game with 3 straight quad one wins coming at Ohio State against Purdue and Indiana, those 3 in a row. Iowa, they're coming in, they're playing pretty well. They'd won 5 of 6. Their only loss was at Purdue. Northwestern had lost to them last time out. 86-70 in the middle of those 6 games. And that was a game where, Iowa really shot the lights out. They shot it really well in that one. 55.8% from the field, going 29 of 52 on their field goals in that game. 47.6% from 3, going 10 of 21. They were really good at the free throw line, too. 18 of 22 in that game for 81.8%. They out-rebounded Northwestern 32-24, just all around. It's tied 39-39 at half in that game, and you thought Northwestern was going to hang in there. And then Iowa just took off shooting the basketball in the second half, and Northwestern got a little bit colder, and it turned into the 16-point rout that we saw. But Northwestern, when you watch this team play, you know that they've been very, very good. They've been very competitive, very scrappy, with the exception of a few games. The Ohio State game, unprecedented cold start to that game. The Iowa and Michigan games back-to-back in the middle of that 6 games in 13-day streak coming off the COVID pause. I think fatigue set in there. Probably, it set in the second half of every game in that stretch because I don't know where the conditioning was at for Northwestern going into that stretch. But every other time out, we've seen them be competitive. We've seen them be right there with teams, even in the losses. A lot of big wins, some close losses. The Rutgers game jumps out as one that one of the Michigan games too. Those two jump out as games that, man, you You had a chance. And you maybe didn't even start that great in either of those games either. But last time out against Iowa, Philip Rebracha and Peyton Sanford both had 20 points as 5 Iowa Hawkeyes were in double figures in that game. Northwestern did not have that same luck on offense. We'll get to that in a second. Rebracha had a double-double. He had 20 points and 10 boards in that game. As you saw, Iowa put forth a really just dominant second half. I think that second half was 47-31, if I'm recalling correctly. As really we just saw things kind of get sideways on Northwestern. Things snowball rolling down the hill kind of got out of hand, and they weren't able to get it back on the tracks in that one. I think it carried over into that Michigan game. Northwestern in that game, Boo Booey had 20 points. Chase Audige had 15 points, and nobody else on Northwestern's team had double figures. And it really wasn't awful from Boo Booey efficiency-wise, but it wasn't the most efficient game from either of those guys. They took a lot of shots that did not fall in that one. But so there's reason for, if you were an Iowa fan coming in, to think, oh, like, we have a chance going on the road at Northwestern. But then you're also, if you're Northwestern, this team's just been different. It's been different over the last 2 weeks. The way it was playing coming in, you had to feel pretty good as well. It certainly was had the makings of a really fun, really good game to see if Northwestern could continue that momentum, because they were red hot coming into this game. And we're going to talk about what happened in the game here in just 1 second. But first, let's talk about our friends at LinkedIn. As a small business owner or hiring manager, you know that success in 2023 all depends on the team members you surround yourself with. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. With LinkedIn Jobs, you can hire qualified candidates more efficiently by matching open roles with people who have the skills, values, and experiences to help you achieve your goals. LinkedIn Jobs helps you quickly attract qualified candidates to your open jobs with targeting tools. They go beyond resume data by using insights from your job post, company, and their 875 million member profiles to put your post in front of the most qualified candidates. Identify those most qualified candidates on LinkedIn Jobs and connect with them fast and for free. LinkedIn Jobs makes it easy to screen and rate applicants based on your job qualifications, all on one platform. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Also, thank you for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen every day. Make sure you check out our brand new podcast, Locked On College Basketball. Everything you need to know about college basketball in one place. Plus, hear from big name experts, insiders, coaches, and players. Locked On College Basketball, available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Shout out to them as well. I think they just hit over 500 subscribers on YouTube as of today. It's a great podcast. Got to go on there and talk some Northwestern at the end of last week. If you want to go check that out, I think it was Friday's episode, the second segment, starting around 12 minutes into their show. If you want to listen to Andy and me talk a little Northwestern. All right. So let's jump into this game because Northwestern keeps things rolling. They really do. It was maybe the lowest stress Northwestern game we've watched all year long in terms of against a very good, very high level opponent, a high major opponent. And it started with, you got a great game out of Boo Booey. As Northwestern in that first half, they were able to jump out to a 37-26 lead. And you loved to see how they just, it wasn't like the Indiana game necessarily. It was a good start, but it wasn't dominant like it was in the Indiana game, where they got up by just a ton and were able to hang on the rest of the way. In this one, it was kind of Boo Buie driving the train in the first half with 14 points, 4 of 6 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 4 of 4 at the line, a couple rebounds and an assist, 8 points from Ty Berry, 3 of 6 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. Good to see him start to heat up a little bit. That's going to be key going forward. But you got 3 points out of Chase Audige, 4 points out of Titus Verhoeven, 5 points out of Brooks Barnheiser, as guys made plays kind of up and down the roster. You were able to kind of fluster an Iowa team that is really known for protecting the basketball. You turned them over a fair amount in the first half as you forced 8 turnovers. But you held them in check offensively. That's something you weren't able to do in the first matchup. They go just 9 of 29 in the first half, 31%, 2 of 17 from 3. They do go 6 of 8 at the line, but Northwestern goes 7 of 8 at the line in the first half. Second half was where we saw this game really kind of just, we saw Iowa open the half, cut it to 9, really looked like they were going to make a run. And then we saw Iowa lose its composure. And that's what I thought was the biggest change in this game that we've seen a couple teams struggle with. We've seen some teams struggle in Welsh Ryan in the hostile environment, which Sunday was about as good as it's been all year. The crowd was involved. The crowd was very loud. But the turning point in that second half had to be when Northwestern's trying to get the ball across half court, and Boo Buie passes it across half court to Robbie Barron, and Robbie Barron, he catches it. By letter of the law, it is a backcourt violation because it hits 0 about 3 feet from Robbie Barron's hands. It should be a backcourt violation. The refs miss it, and because they miss it, we saw Fran McCaffrey lose it. He comes onto the court. He gets teed up. He continues to lose his mind, trying to get held back by opponents or by assistant coaches, and he gets teed up again, and he gets ejected. So 2 techs, you send Boo Buie to the line. He hits all 4 free throws, and that was the moment. It happened on that possession. Robbie Barron finds Titus Verhoeven for a lay-in, and there was a timeout. And that's when Fran McCaffrey gets hit with both techs. And it was a moment where Northwestern built the lead back out to 15. And you saw the techs happen. Boo Buie steps up, extends it to 19. And now Iowa's on the ropes, down almost 20 with no head coach. I think it affected Iowa a little bit, as you saw Patrick McCaffrey. He lost his cool, and he got teed up later as well. Ty Berry stepped up and knocked down both of those free throws. The student section, very loud, chanting, "Where's your daddy?" to Connor and Patrick McCaffrey after Fran had been ejected. Very funny. I thought it was very, very, very funny. But you got great production in the second half up and down the roster. 9 points from Boo Buie, 4 of those coming at the free throw line. 8 points from Ty Berry, 2 of 4 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 3 of 4 at the line. 8 points from Matthew Nicholson, 4 of 5 from the field in the second half. Misses 2 free throws, unfortunately. He had a couple and ones there where you saw Iowa just trying to wrap him up and keep him from getting a shot off, but he's just too big and too strong. Great job by him. Brooks Barnheiser giving you 7 points, 2 of 5 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, and 2 of 2 at the line. Verhoeven, 4 points. Audige, 4 points. Martinelli, 3 points. He hit a 3 in the corner. The announcers at one point made a comment about how 2 hours and 45 minutes before the game, he was in that corner shooting threes, and his moment came, and he hit a big one in the second half. as Northwestern just kind of ran away with it. They shot 55.6% in the second half. They were 15 of 27, 4 of 7 from 3, got to the line 12 times, hit 9 of them, and they ran away with the game. They outscored Iowa 43-34 in the second half. Got the 80-60 win. You had 23 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, and just 1 turnover from Boo Buie in another phenomenal game by him. 6 of 11 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3, 8 of 8 at the free throw line. Ty Berry, maybe this is the game where he starts to get hot. And boy, if he gets hot, watch out, because he had 16 points, 5 of 10 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, 3 of 4 at the line, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Did have 3 turnovers, but I'll take that shooting performance out of him. You had Brooks Barnheiser give you 12 points, 4 of 10 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, 2 of 2 at the line, 7 boards, as he continues to be kind of an unsung hero on this team. I will say Titus Verhoeven has really gotten better over the last 2 weeks. I've really been happy with the fight that he has shown. He started to score a little bit more, but he's been really, really good, as he had 8 points, 3 of 4 from the field, 2 of 2 at the line, and 3 rebounds in the game as well. Matthew Nicholson continued to do Matthew Nicholson type of things, be pretty efficient down low, 4 of 5 from the field, 9 points, 1 of 4 at the line, just 3 rebounds. Would love to see that number a little bit higher. But, Matthew Nicholson and Boo Buie have a very special connection right now. Their chemistry is great. Boo and Matt know exactly where they're going to be at all times, and allows Boo to make some really great anticipation passes to get Nicholson the ball down low and get him some easy buckets. It's a quietish game from Chase Audige, just 3 of 7 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3, did not get to the free throw line. He had a block, he had 2 steals, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, just 7 points. But when other guys step up the way that they did, it doesn't matter. And it's honestly one of the more well-rounded games we've seen out of Northwestern all season long. You held Iowa to just 3 of 24 from 3 in the game. The defense was great. You held them below 43% when they shot like 50-something last time out against you. You hold them to 60 points, the best offense in the Big Ten, the 5th best adjusted offensive team in the country, according to KenPom. You hold them to 60 points in this game. No one on Iowa scored 15-plus points in the entire game. That's impressive. And Iowa didn't keep their cool in the second half and allowed Northwestern to just dismantle them and have a dominant victory that I think is going to build a lot of confidence in Northwestern as they go through these last 4 games, 3 of 4 of which are going to be on the road coming up. But Northwestern for the game, 27 of 55 from the field, 49.1% on the game. That's about as good as we've seen them shoot from the field all year long. 10 of 20 from 3, 50%. That's unbelievable for this team. And they went 16 of 20 at the free throw line, 80%. That's really good as well. Just a great shooting game from Northwestern. You didn't get dominated on the boards as badly as you did the first round matchup, where you got out-rebounded by 8. You only got out-rebounded by 4 in this one. You had more points off turnovers. You forced 15 Iowa turnovers for a team that does not turn it over that much. You had better bench production. You were better shooting the basketball on all phases. You had 9 steals, 3 blocks. You were better than them on the defensive end. Everything went your way, and it really was an impressive performance. One of the best performances we've seen out of Northwestern all year. I know it's not a quad 1 win, but it was just really daggum impressive to watch them play like they did in this one. In just a second, we're going to talk about the takeaways from this game. But first, let's talk about our friends at Built Bar. You looking for a delicious treat but don't want all the fat and calories? Then you got to try a Built Bar. We just got through the holidays. I know my goal is to eat a little bit healthier this year. If you're like me and you want to eat healthier, but you don't want to compromise taste, then man, I've got just the thing for you. You got to try Built. With Built, healthy is actually tasty. Seriously, they're so delicious, you won't think they're good for you. Perfect for your New Year's resolution. What makes Built Bars so good? Well, for starters, they're covered in 100% real chocolate. That's right, real chocolate. And they come in unbelievable flavors like churro, peanut butter brownie, and coconut almond. I'm not sure exactly how Built does it, but these bars taste just like a candy bar while maintaining amazing macros. And what's even better is that they're healthy, only 130 calories and 4 grams of sugar with a whopping 17 grams of protein. And now you don't have to wait around to get a box. For years, we've been talking about ordering your Built bars at built.com. Now you can get them at your local Walmart or Sam's Club. That's right. Head to your nearest Walmart today, walk to the pharmacy section, and grab yourself a box of Built bars. You can pick up a 4-bar box of cookies and cream, double chocolate, or coconut puffs. If you're close to Sam's Club, run in and grab yourself a 13-bar box with our hit flavors, brownie batter, and churro. You can thank me later. Just make sure you go out there and try these Built bars. Also, thank you for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen today. For your second listen, check out our brand new podcast, Locked On College Basketball. Experts Isaac Shade and Andy Patton bring you everything you need to know on and off the court. Plus, hear from big name experts, coaches, and players throughout the basketball landscape. Locked On College Basketball, available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. All right, takeaways from this game. Northwestern still rolling. Hottest team in the Big Ten right now. Still in the Big Ten regular season hunt behind Purdue, a game and a half back. Purdue's got 3 games left, and they are at home versus Indiana, who already beat them this year, at Wisconsin, who's fighting for their tournament lives, and at home against Illinois. Certainly some games that are probably losable, and we know that this Purdue team has been kind of up and down here recently, but they have a long rest. They don't play till Saturday, I believe. They got a full week off. Then Northwestern has 4 games left. At Illinois, going to be a tough one this week. At Maryland, another tough one. Then you're at home against Penn State, one that they'll definitely be favored in. And then at Rutgers, 3 of those games being very, very, very challenging on the road. Northwestern's 20-7 overall, 11-5 in the Big Ten, 1.5 games out of first place, and they own the tiebreaker against Purdue. Up to number 42 in the KenPom, up to number 39 in the net rankings. And they cracked the AP poll finally. All those signs and all the chants at the game last night. The Associated Press heard you because they're number 21 in the new AP poll. Look, and a lot of that's because of Boo Buie. Boo Buie has gone to a different level over the last month and a half. If you're watching this conference right now, he's your first team all Big Ten point guard. He's been special. He's been unbelievable. He's so good and so mature. He is the steadying hand on this roster for Northwestern. When things get crazy and things get sideways, he is the guy who reins it in, brings this team back, puts it back on the tracks, and keeps it going for this team. The emergence of Matthew Nicholson, Titus Verhoeven, Brooks Barnheiser, that makes this team dangerous. With the way that those guys have elevated over the course of this season, it's been really impressive, especially Verhoeven here over the last week or so has been really valuable. Nicholson has gotten better and better and better and more confident as the season has gone on. Barnheiser makes winning plays every time out. Ty Berry, that's the guy I'm going to have my eye on going forward because he just had a big game. Started to figure out, I think, a little bit last week. Then he had a big game, 16 points, started to find his stroke from 3. If he gets hot, this Northwestern team gets so dangerous and are so difficult to beat if you've got production up and down the roster on this team. So that's going to be something I have my eye on moving forward. Next up, this team is at Illinois on Thursday at 8 p.m. on the Big Ten Network. Going to be a great matchup there. They're going to be underdogs. The matchup predictor from ESPN gives them Illinois an 80% chance to win, which feels a little disrespectful to what this Northwestern team has been over the last little bit. But, the more people doubt this team, the better, because this team is going to continue to prove the doubters and the haters wrong, and they're going to continue to make some noise as we get into the NCAA tournament. But I think with the past 3 games, Northwestern has absolutely sealed the NCAA tournament. No chance that they don't make it. But you love to see what this team has done. They've been so much fun to talk about, so much fun to watch, and they're dangerous. And that's probably going to do it for today's episode. As we continue just to be in awe of what this team has done, picked 13th in the league and just dominating right now. Been really, really impressive. Thank you for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen every single day. We're available wherever you get podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever. We're also on YouTube. Just search Locked On Northwestern. You can find us there. Wherever you're listening, make sure you're subscribed and you turn on notifications because you don't want to miss an episode right now with the way that this basketball team is playing. I'm your host, Carter Bird. You can follow me on social media at CarterBird13, and I'll see you all next time.